coffee with a straw for that morning fresh on your way to the dentist. That morning fresh. Hey everyone, quick disclaimer from the floor. I realized that I have been getting the numbers of days left wrong again. Hello Aaron. This is Aaron Soon, one of my cats. She's named after the Farscape character, Officer Aaron Soon, the Peacekeeper, Sebastian. Isn't that right? John, your foolishness. That's the best impression of that character you've ever heard. Hello, your foolishness. She's a lady, by the way. What was my point? That I'm getting numbers wrong again. So, you know, I'm not even going to correct it. I'm just going to tell you here from the floor. Floor!
Hey everybody, it's day 74 of 100 days of making comics with me, Gazbot. Woo! And now let's get on with the day. The day is starting with an announcement about this camera setup, which is low res off of my iPhone with the camera facing me. So you're going to see the black bars, low resolution, the color's a little wonky. I have not returned my GoPro because my day was terrible today, but I will. And in the meantime, I'm back to using the old iPhone, but I don't want to miss my days for you people and myself, more importantly, so I'm keeping it going. But we're dealing with iPhone, who has failed us in the past, but is at least reliable enough that it will record and not cut out in the middle or put weird sounds. It'll just kind of be low quality. So today, I had to go to my dentist, which got pushed up to 9:30, which actually, despite really stinking about me getting no sleep, because I went to bed at like 4 last night, so I got like 4 hours sleep roughly. Despite that, it worked out because I was getting 2 cavities that I had since I was a kid with like apparently really old-fashioned, you know, had the silver fillings, but they were done in some crazy way, and they were falling apart and needed to be changed, fixed, replaced, whatever. Anyway, they drill out the old filling, put in new fillings, and then I had to get crowns put on them. And I thought it would take an hour or two. It took 3.5 hours. That's in chair. That's not counting driving there and back and all that. 3.5 hours in chair. I got up once or twice. They offered me more breaks, but I'm like, it's already taking so long. Just do it. Go, 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 go. And they kept asking me like, oh, does that hurt? And like, you're making faces. And I'm like, no, I'll let you know. You know, like they were talking to me a lot, which, you know, I'm a friendly guy, but when I got stuff that's like, you know. And then towards the end, and this is common with me when I go to the dentist, towards the end it did start to hurt. And they're like, oh, if it starts to hurt, let us know. We'll give you more Novocaine. And I just don't say anything. I'm like, unless it's agony, I'm going to deal with it because I hate Novocaine more than I hate pain. I hate the feeling of my face being numb and my lips and my tongue. And like in the past, I've gone home afterwards and like tried to sleep until it wore off. But I found the other way that could work is often on a long procedure, like this certainly was, the Novocaine only lasts a couple hours, so it'll start to dim and dull, and you start to feel something. But I figured out that if you start feeling it, and I had asked them, I'm like, are we near the end? And they said, oh, about a half hour. And I went to the bathroom, came back real quick, and I said, okay, so if it starts hurting about now, again, not agony, but just like, I can feel it, you know, that's good news. And that's what happened over that course of that half hour. I went from, I kind of feel something, to by the end, I'm like, this is bad. Like, but I knew I was like minutes away from being done, so I powered through, no second dose of Novocaine, which means by the time I got out to my car after filling out the paperwork and everything, and got to the coffee shop, my mouth was totally not numb anymore. And that, to me, is totally worth that, like, little pain at the end. It's great. I hate Novocaine so much. So anyway, that was like a huge chunk of the beginning of my day, and it's lucky because I was originally have to go in at 12:30. They asked me to move it up. I had to pick up Q at the airport at 4, so if I had been there at 12:30 like I was supposed to, I would have been done at 4. And like, you know, I was late, you know, getting home to feed my cats and do a few other things, and I stopped for a coffee. See, that's the other thing. I didn't have breakfast or anything because I figured, I'll have something after I get out. Maybe there's like a little bagel shop there or whatever. But I got out so late that I basically had half a cup of coffee on the way in. Sat in the chair for 3.5 hours, getting drilled-faced. Drilled-faced. It's not as fun as going to a bar and getting the other thing, I suppose. That's tough for me, because I'm not a big drinker. So, anyway, other people would enjoy the other type of bar face. It starts with an SH, and it ends with it. Anyway, so I get back and I have like less than an hour. First I think, oh, I'm going to get my GoPro together and go return it. I'm like, I don't have time for that. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to quick run to this. And like, I kind of did the mental math that I couldn't do anything. So I sort of fed the cats, returned an email or two, and headed right out the door. The awesome thing about that, and by awesome I mean sucky terrible, is it was raining. Barely ever rains here, and when it does, it's nothing. But it was a legit rainstorm that started basically when I left my house around 3 o'clock. And it's a Friday, and I guess rush hour decided to start early. So between it being a Friday and this early rush hour and the rain, and I mean heavy rain, like you're kind of squinting, almost like a blizzard, like you can't quite see through the water even with the wipers going, and it was really foggy, so even with the headlights on, everything looked kind of dim. So the traffic was bad, and every now and then when it would ease up, I still couldn't go more than like 30 miles an hour for fear of smashing into the people in front of me or whatever. So it was taking me way longer to get to the airport. So normally that 45-minute drive took me like an hour and a half. Which lucked out because Q's flight was running late, and then I circled around the airport, picked her up, headed back. But on the way back, I started feeling terrible. Like my eyes were all messed up, and I was like, maybe I need drops because the surgery I had, whatever. I'm like, everything's foggy. And my creation's like, no, everything is foggy. And I'm like, I guess, but the strain's getting me. And I had a headache, and I almost never get headaches. I'm not a headache person. If I do, it's usually because I'm dehydrated, which I may have been because I had my mouth open for 3.5 hours and drank a couple coffees, which are diuretics. But my knee was hurting, and I was a mess. And then as we finally got back, and it took, another hour and a half to get back almost. It was like 3 hours of driving in rain after 3.5 hours in the dentist chair. And that was like my whole day. So I was saying to Kira, I felt like, what am I in some kind of like dream state? It's like surreal. Like I don't feel like this is real life, So anyway, we get back and I eat some food and I'm feeling a little better. And it kind of hits me that, okay, well, being in the dentist chair messed me up a little bit, and driving for so long, I guess it was straining my eyes and stress, whatever, in the rain. But really, also, I only got about 4 hours sleep last night and hadn't eaten anything all day. Like literally, from the time I woke up around 8:30 until about 6:30, I ate nothing. I had 1.5 cups of coffee without even sugar in them. They were sweet Splenda. So I was like, oh, yeah, probably all these things together is why I feel terrible. Because I feel fine now. I sat down for a little bit, I ate some food, and yeah, I'm okay. So that's a nutrition tip, everybody. Try to get sleep and eat food. These are things. And this is funny coming from me, the guy who ate an entire pizza yesterday. So, I'm nothing if not inconsistent. So anyway, we ate and watched a couple shows, and I was feeling better, but I still pretty exhausted. See, I'm doing my Home Alone impression. Ah! So anyway, didn't do any work, no paid work, no client work. Again, I answered a few emails back and forth, that kind of like administrative work, but I couldn't, it's hard to do anything more than that. But I don't want to flake out on the challenge, so I was like, well, I'll do a half hour. I ended up doing 45 minutes, which is not great, but better than a half hour, which is all I thought I was going to do. And I basically did one more panel on the page I was working on, and I put a few more details on panel 2. This page is turning out to be more and more like, rough pencils or super tight roughs, or I'm probably going to take these and just go straight to inks, which is not true of all of my layouts. And like I said, normally I thought there's like 4 steps, where it's like thumbnail, layout, full-size layout, pencil, ink, and then color or whatever I do color. But more and more these are kind of drifting between the second and third stage, so that when I go back, I think some of them I'm going to have to tighten up to like quote-unquote pencils, because I'm not actually using a pencil. And the rest, like this page, I think I'll be able to just go straight to inks. So again, I've spent X amount of hours on this one page already when it's supposed to be just like a rough, but I'm consoling myself with the knowledge that I'm going to basically skip the pencil stage and go to inks. I didn't do a process. I'm just going to do a quick crossfade instead of a bunch of steps of where I was yesterday and where I am today, and that's 45 minutes worth of progress. So I'll put that 45 minutes of progress on the screen now.
Changed. Thanks for playing along.
I have the screen flipped so I can see myself, which is bad because I'm totally one of those people that looks in the mirror and is like, like I'm doing it right now. Like, it's terrible. This is not good for me. It's good for quick framing and then, whatever. So, but I'm staring at myself and I'm happy to go to myself. Hey, I'm looking at me. Me. I'm such an egomaniac. Entertaining, I hope. So anyway, that is my day. I'm not going to sleep just yet, but I probably should. But I'm gonna have a cup of decaf coffee because I like flavor and it's comforting, soothing. I can have a tea. Maybe I'll have a tea. Either way, it'll be decaf. Either way, I promise. Hands up. Don't arrest me. I mean, do arrest me. Don't shoot me. What? You know, like I'm a criminal, but I'm I don't want my hands to be out of frame, so I put them up this way. No, please, no. Oh, do you like my shirt? I got this for Christmas. I actually put it in my drawer and forgot I got it. It's the periodic table of Transformers, and I really dig it because the art is nice and bright and colorful, but also it's very accurate to the G1 anime type characters, the Transformers cartoons. So, big fan of that shirt. This shirt, the one on me, the one transforming my nakedity into clothedness. So it's a transforming shirt. I turned it inside out, and then there's no picture and seam lines. So I'm some sort of fashion maverick, but I won't do that with this shirt because I like it. Then again, maybe I'll just think about the day. The day number being 74. And that means
We've got 24 6 days left. Ha ha. 24/6.